to circumstances beyond our control, we're back for another exciting week of local live television on this Monday, the 28th day of October, 2019. It is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Coons, your host. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you had a chance to get out and enjoy the Make a Difference Day festivities on Saturday. Hope you paid it forward, as it were. We're back at it again for another week. Lots of things going on this week. Very busy week. Last full week before election day, of course. General election day is 1 week from tomorrow, and for all of this week, we'll be playing various segments of our candidate profiles or candidate interviews. If you haven't voted yet, we believe in being an informed voter. Today, you're going to get to meet Mike Cooney and Bob Goedde. Of course, Mike Cooney is the incumbent, running for a second term as mayor of the city of Chelan. Bob Goedde used to be the mayor. Now he wants the job back. That conversation with those two gentlemen will be coming up in the back half of the hour. Get ready for some very dramatic weather. It's going to get cold, and I mean cold. We hit 72 on Friday, record high on Friday. We're not going to see 72 again for a very long time. We're talking overnight lows in the teens, record-breaking overnight lows, a distinct possibility. Plus, we're going to factor in some of the wind. We got a big bunch of cold Arctic air coming down to pay us a visit, and we're going to talk about that when we get to the forecast. All your latest news, sports, including highlights of Wenatchee's big win over Sunnyside on Friday night at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. Plus, we'll wrap up the weekend in sports. We have the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays, and everybody is entitled to Mike McKnight's opinion. And we're a ways from sunrise. Sunrise isn't going to get going until 7:38. Perhaps by the end of this program, we'll take another tour around north central Washington with the Valley View cameras so we can see more than we can see now, which is not much. 36 degrees, fair skies. Let's go around the valley with our Valley View cameras. The cross camera, of course, gets to bat lead off, pardon the baseball analogy. Zoomed in a little bit and tilted down a little bit as we look over the Wenatchee, East Wenatchee area. Sunrise 7:38 this morning, sunset 5:50. That'll buy us 10 hours and 12 minutes of daylight as, of course, the days keep getting shorter and shorter. We lose about 90 seconds of daylight a day this time of the year. Yeah, 72 on Friday. That came out of nowhere. Then we only hit 55 on Saturday. 51 was our high yesterday. We almost had a record low on overnight Sunday with the overnight low of 28. The record low was 26, and we have a distinct possibility of breaking some low temperatures later on this week. Your very chilly forecast is on the way. Camber 2, where are we off to, Megan? Megan gets to decide. And we're going to do a close. Ooh, is that Pybus I see down there? Hey, that's our camera from on top of the Cascadian, looking down over the Pybus Public Market on a very quiet Monday. A lot of people take Monday off, of course. A lot of restaurants don't open on Monday, and various professional services, people who work on Saturday, and they're basically their work week is Tuesday through Saturday. They'll take a Monday off too. So things are kind of quiet. Of course, it's late start for the local schools. So not a lot going on at the Pybus. That will change. Trust me, I go there a lot. Camera number 3. By the way, nice call on the Pybus one. Oh, there we go again. That's another view from the Cascadian looking north on Wenatchee Avenue. We have to use these cameras this time of year because it's dark, and so we can only use cameras that actually lit in some kind of light. Yeah, that's what we're doing here on the morning commute. Think people are behaving. Don't run the red light. Don't run the... Ooh. Oh, he made it through. I shouldn't say he. Don't know. It could be a she, for all I know. That's Mission Street to your left on the morning commute and Wenatchee Avenue on the right. Maybe we could just sit here and count how many cars run through a yellow light. Let's see. Looking at the big cars here on the left, there's a big semi. To heck with it. I'm sure Wenatchee's finest are out and about catching those scofflaws. Camera 4, where are we off to, Megan? And that looks to be the Apple Annie's camera. Am I correct? Hey, I got one right. There's your morning commute. The folks coming in from Cashmere into the Wenatchee Valley. A lot of folks live in Cashmere, but they work in the Wenatchee Valley, or they have their doctor's appointments, or whatever the case may be. So here they come. Big line of cars there in the right-hand corner of your screen as they stream in to the big city from the lovely hamlet of Cashmere. Good-looking shots this morning. If we have the time towards the back half of the show, once the sun gets up, we'll take you another tour if we have the time. Busy show today. Lots going on. The weather forecast from the National Weather Service. Here we go. No big deal today. Sunshine 52. We hit 51 yesterday, so maybe a little bit warmer. It's 36 degrees outside of our studios now. As I mentioned, we got all the way down to 28 yesterday morning, so it took us a while to climb up that ladder. Look at the overnight low tonight, 22. There's a very strong cold front coming our way. Wind chills tonight into tomorrow, cold. Look at Ritzville. You factor in the cold temperatures and the wind chill value, 7. Ooh, Moses Lake, chilly. Wenatchee, chilly, as they factor in the wind chills. Again, this is Monday night into early Tuesday morning, but it's going to get even colder as we get deeper into the week. What's causing all this? Well, I'll show you what's causing this cold air. This is what's causing the cold air. Boom, there you go. See that high pressure ridge over the Pacific? Spinning around counterclockwise. It's grabbing all that cold Arctic air from Western Canada, and it's shoving us right down into the Pacific Northwest, which means we're going to have some blustery winds at times and very chilly temperatures before we gradually warm up towards, maybe Halloween and in the weekend. But some of these overnight lows are going to be record breakers. I kid you not. So we're looking at about 23 for the overnight low tonight, 22, 23. Look at the overnight low Tuesday into Wednesday, 17 degrees. That would break a record. In fact, it would shatter a record. And we're not even going to get to 40 tomorrow. This is when the real coldest air is going to really be impactful. Look at Tuesday. Lots of sunshine, very, very chilly. It's going to be cold. Wednesday, we maybe warm up to 40, 49. Are we going to break records? Yeah, we could break a record tonight. Certainly going to break a record for overnight low on Tuesday. Could even break records for the coldest afternoon high. That's a distinct possibility. So we are in for some record-breaking weather temperature-wise. Probably tonight, almost certainly Tuesday, maybe spilling into Wednesday, Thursday for Halloween for your ghosts and goblins. Not too bad. It's going to be, clear, but it's going to be chilly. All the overnight lows that you see until we get to Saturday going to be below freezing. One constant, quite a bit of sunshine. That's not the problem, but this cold Arctic air that's being ushered in is going to make things feel downright cold. Hard to believe we hit 72 on Friday. You can say goodbye to that, can't you? 36 degrees, fair skies outside of our studios. Going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have your Monday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live this morning from Studio 3 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
My first experience with CVCH, I had to come in with my daughter by myself with a cut in my hand that required stitches. And the care and compassion at CVCH was really significant, that they took the care and compassion and made me feel more as a human instead of just a patient there. The care they have for their community all around, inside and outside the clinic, is what I feel like is different. And that's what makes me want to come back to CVCH and recommend them to my friends and family.
Hi, my name is Jim Heinlein, independent agent and owner at Springwater Insurance Group, formerly known as Senior Insurance Services. And we recently decided to make that name change because we're offering so many different other types of insurances in addition to Medicare education and enrollment like we've been doing for 15 years. So if you have questions about Medicare or any other forms of insurances, give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group, 888-2600, or visit us at any of our 5 locations.
Just about 9 minutes after the hour, we have fair skies and 36 degrees outside of our studio. Sunshine, highs in the lower 50s today, and then temperatures a good 15 to 20 degrees below normal on both Tuesday and Wednesday. Get ready for some cold air coming our way in the next couple of days. Here's what's making headlines. A 38-year-old Carlton man was killed yesterday afternoon in a 2-car accident on State Route 153. This happened about 20 miles north of Pateras. The Washington State Patrol reports that Clayton M. Thornton was driving northbound a milepost 20 shortly after 3 yesterday afternoon when his Ford Explorer lost control in a curve, crossed the center line, and struck a southbound vehicle. Thornton was declared dead. At the scene, the 2 occupants of the southbound vehicle were not seriously injured. The cause of the crash is under investigation. A drunken driver who plowed through an orchard near Monitor last April earned a 3-month sentence of electronic home monitoring. Wade Aaron Lindsay, 26 years old, pleaded Wednesday to charges of DUI and malicious mischief. Lindsay's car destroyed at least 1 fruit tree and nearly struck an orchard worker. His blood alcohol content was 10 points above the legal limit. Well, Douglas County officials will move into their brand new Law and Justice Center in East Wenatchee. It's going to happen next week, but first they'll give the public a chance to tour the facility At the bottom of 19th Street, the almost 18,000 square foot building will replace the county's current Law and Justice Center on 2nd Street. It'll house the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, District Court, Probation Services, and others. Employees will move in a week from tomorrow, Tuesday, November 5th. On Monday, 1 week from today at 2 o'clock, there will be a ribbon cutting with self-guided tours to follow. Construction of the building, by the way, cost about $8 million. Well, the city of Chelan appears poised to finalize the purchase of 9.8 acres of lakefront property on Spader Bay. In September, the City Council agreed to spend $400,000 for the property as part of its commitment to protecting and improving public access to lakefront property. But citizen opposition to the purchase at that meeting led the council to hold a town hall earlier this month before finalizing the purchase. At 4 o'clock on November 5th, the council has a budget workshop. It will likely approve the purchase at that time. Well, a contractor for Chelan County has begun the work on replacing that faulty stormwater pipe on the south part of the Wenatchee area near a pair of sinkholes. The work is expected to last until mid-November. It involves installing 5 catch basins and 650 feet of 42-inch culvert. The problem with the pipe became apparent in July when a big sinkhole forced the closure of a portion of South Wenatchee near Boudry Street. A second sinkhole appeared in September just north of the first. The county had already planned to replace the stormwater pipe, but the sinkholes pushed the timeline up for the project. As you might imagine, there will be some detours, by the way, and street closures during that work. And Pucks and Paws, it's a big annual fundraiser for the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. It's this Friday at the Town Toyota Center. Our very own Megan McPherson checked in with the Humane Society to find out all about it.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Live channel. We're here with Renee Parkins, the Development Officer of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. And Renee, what is happening Friday, November 1st?
So it's going to be a fun time with the Wenatchee Wild. It's Pucks and Paws night. Puck drop is at 7:05. Doors open at 6. And for anybody that purchases a ticket from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society website, so www.wenatcheehumane.org, or from our Facebook page, the Wenatchee Wild will donate $5 for every single ticket purchased through that link back to the shelter. So we're gonna be there. We're going to have vendors that are dog related on the concourse. There'll be giveaways. We're gonna have a dog parade with adoptable dogs, and people can actually bring their own dogs to have fun and celebrate the night too.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's also Walt's birthday, so that's gonna be a really fun celebration. He's the Valley's favorite mascot, and he is asking in lieu of gifts that people bring supplies for the shelter. So the wish list is actually posted on our Facebook event, so if somebody's interested in donating to Walt's birthday fund, they can go there and do that. So we hope everybody comes out and has a howling good time with us in the Wenatchee Wild on November 1st.
Looking forward to that. It is 13 minutes after the hour here on this Monday. Got ahead of myself. What happened over the weekend? Quite a bit, as you might imagine. The newsroom will be buzzing today with a preview of tonight's evening news. Here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, I'll tell you about much colder air headed our way in your complete north central Washington weather forecast. And Eric Grandstrom will have all the weekend scores and highlights from around our area. That and much more coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News at 5, 6, and 10. Hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Yeah, Grant's our local weather expert, and he ain't kidding. It's going to get cold. Record-breaking low temperatures possible tonight, almost a certainty. Tuesday night into Wednesday. We'll take one more look at that weather forecast before we wrap up this live edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. In the meantime, at 14 minutes after the hour, we are going to take a break. But before we do so, I want to remind you, get a hold of us. You know where to find us. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. You can drop us a line via our Facebook page on the Messenger app, or you can go to our website, fill out the form there, ncwlife.com. You want to send us an email? Love to hear from you. News at ncwlife.com. This is as much your station as it is ours. We love to hear from you, our viewers. Now we'll take just a quick 1-minute break and come back with a lot of sports, as that's usually the case on Mondays. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Hi, I'm Ricardo, and this is Amanda, and we are from Impact Auto Sales.
Where you can expect a hassle-free car buying experience.
With our wide selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, let one of our friendly sales staff help you find the vehicle that fits your lifestyle. We have financing available for all credit types and great low rates for first-time buyers. Call us today at 888-8000 or stop by 3522 State Highway 97A in Wenatchee. Impact Auto Sales, where we strive to make an impact on your life and not your wallet.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of Wake Up in Anchi Valley. I'm Dan Coons. Let's do sports. As the Nationals club the Astros in Game 2, 12-2. You remember that? Yeah. The Nationals have scored exactly 3 runs in 3 games. That's it. And in the process, Houston has won 3 in a row, and now they have a 3-2 lead in the 115th playing of the World Series. Jordan Alvarez broke a scoreless tie in the second with a 2-run home run to center field off Washington starter Joe Ross. Joe Ross was a last-minute replacement. Max Scherzer couldn't go. Had a bad neck. Carlos Correa created further separation in the fourth on a 2-run home run. That put the Astros up 4-0, and that would be plenty for Garrett Cole, the starter for the Astros, who struck out 9 over 7 innings during the victory. So now Houston returns home. They got all the momentum now. Game 6 is tomorrow night, 5:07 on Fox. It'll be a rematch of the Game 2 starters. Steven Strasburg goes for the Nationals. Justin Verlander will start for Houston. The Seattle Seahawks raced out to a 24-0 lead at halftime. Then they had to hold on for the 27-20 win over Atlanta. Yesterday down at Atlanta, the Seahawks offense scored on 4 of their 5 possessions in the first half. Russell Wilson found DK Metcalf for a couple of touchdown passes. Chris Carson ran for another. And then the script flipped in the second half. Backup quarterback Matt Schaub threw for 460 yards, led the Falcons to scores on 4 of their 5 possessions in the second half. Coach Pete Carroll says, well, he was happy they got there with a win, but he admitted that the second half was not the greatest.
A lot of things happened. We functioned. Quarterback functioned well. Hit DK for a couple touchdowns. Chris Carson ran really well. It was great for him to have a good game here coming back home. Penny ran the ball really well. We ran like crazy in the first half, and it was rare that you would run for 130 yards at halftime. But it just didn't show up in the second half. But we saw a lot of good things. Unfortunately, Justin Britt got hurt and hurt his knee, and we'll know more. But it looks like he's got something's going to keep him out, and we'll see what happens. But on the other side of that, Joey Hunt jumped in there. Joey's been preparing for this opportunity forever. He's been a great worker and a total team guy, and he'll do a really good job filling the spot.
Seahawks improved to 6-2 with the victory. They'll be back home to take on the 2-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers Sunday afternoon at the Clink. To the Les Schwab College football scoreboard from over the weekend. Oregon's Camden Lewis kicked a 26-yard field goal on the last play of the game, and the Ducks beat the Cougars 37-35 on Saturday night. The game winner came after the Cougars scored on a 5-yard fourth down touchdown pass from Anthony Gordon to Brandon Arconado with a minute remaining. Wazoo had no answer for Oregon running back C.J. Verdell. He rushed for a career-high 257 yards and 3 touchdowns. Marcus Knight ran for 131 yards and 3 touchdowns. Montana got past Eastern Washington 34-17. And Michael Roots rushing for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns. Christian Moore throwing for 4 others. Central Washington demolished Simon Fraser 62-10. Let's go back to Friday. It was the big matchup of the week. The Wenatchee Panthers and the Sunnyside Grizzlies in Big 9 football. Wenatchee defense turning in 7 sacks, and they shut out Sunnyside in a 28-0 win at leave off the field of the Apple Bowl. Nate Blauman rushing for over 100 yards and a touchdown. Cameron Sermon threw for a couple of touchdown passes. J.J. Jelsing had an 80-yard punt return for a touchdown. Panthers are unbeaten in Big 9 play. Our cameras were there. Grant Olson was there. Eric Granstrom was there. Highlights.
Second down and goal for the Panthers. Under 7 minutes. Panthers have had it pretty much this entire second quarter. Here's Blauman, just waltzes into the 10 zone. Touchdown, Panthers. 4 yards, Nathan Blauman.
I should mention that they've moved Vincent Bentley into the guard on that side and moved Cass out. So Bentley, the giant guard at 6'4", 315, he's opening up garage door holes over there for Nate Blauman, who parked his car in the end zone.
Sermon shotgun. Couple of drop steps back. He's got a Mezcua wide open. 50, 10, 5. Touchdown! Panthers, 23 yards.
Johnny Amezcua, beautiful play. Everybody was coming across the field from left to right. Amezcua coming from right to left. All that pre-snap motion really confused the Sunnyside defense. Amezcua with his second touchdown reception of the season. The Panthers strike before halftime.
This time, Rodriguez back in shotgun under some pressure. Does get away from it, though. Now pressure back, and he's going to go down again. This time inside the 40 at the 37-yard line. So Rivera on to punt, as Eric said, yet again tonight. And back is J.J. Jelsing into the wind. Jelsing should get a return this time. Handles it at the 20-yard line. Gets past the first wave of defenders. Now the 30, 35's got speed. 40, 45, 50 down the sideline. Still inbounds. 30, 20, 15, 5. Touchdown Panthers. No flags down.
We wondered about J.J. Jelsing's health. We wondered about a hamstring. We wondered if he was going to be able to even play here in the second half. Not only does he play, but he makes maybe the biggest play of the season for the Wenatchee special teams. Comes up with the 80-yard touchdown return.
4th and 3 for Sunnyside. Boy, is this big for the Grizzlies right now at the Panther 14-yard line. Rodriguez, delay handoff. Fernandez, he gonna get there? No, he's not. Didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage, and the Panthers will get it turned over on downs. All right, 2nd down and 5 for the Panthers. Quick pass left side, Obadiah Young, and he's got all kinds of field. 20, 10, touchdown Panthers, 50 yards, Obadiah Young.
Hey, Grant, that's your game. I know that Sunnyside has the ability to score quickly. Wenatchee has had that the recipe here tonight. And what a well-designed play, just one-on-one, good blocking on the edge, and Young racing for the 50-yard touchdown.
And they are going to let it go, and this is going to do it. Wenatchee is going to go on for a big win. It's the Wenatchee Panthers 28 and the Sunnyside Grizzlies shut out nothing.
Did you guys expect to be able to do this tonight against a vaunted Sunnyside team?
Yeah, we did. We just knew what we were getting into, and we just watched a lot of film on them, and we just knew coming in that we were going to dominate.
That sophomore quarterback's been throwing the ball around, but quick passes. What was the key for you guys against him coming in?
Just hope our corners covered him really well. We just wanted our corners to cover the receivers really well, and then we could get to him in time.
Well, speaking of corners covering, first of all, are you okay? You look like you're a little bit hamstrung out there.
Yeah, I'm great. Bumps and bruises, obviously, but got to fight through it. So,
talk about, of course, these receivers. We've heard all about them. We've read all about them. You guys shut them down tonight.
Yeah, all week at practice, just working the same thing over and over again. We all knew coming into the game we were better than them on the defensive end and offensive end. So just the preparation. Came down to watching film, figuring out what steps they do before they run their route. Just all that type of stuff, preparation in general.
Big victory for the Panthers on Friday night. Also on Friday, Eastmont bounced back from a big way from their only loss of the season. Knocked off Eisenhower down in Yakima, 56-27. And Moses Lake remains winless. They lost to Southridge on the road, 21-17. Caribou Trail League, Cashmere won a non-leaguer against College Place, 43-19. Okanagan crushed Cascade 42-7. Omak remains unbeaten with a 42-17 win over Chelan. In the Central Washington Athletic Conference on Friday, East Valley beat Ephrata 26-14. Quincy lost to Ellensburg 44-8. Sela, Pullman, Prosser, Zilla, all winners on Friday night. In B League football on Friday, Waterville Mansfield got their first win of the season. They beat Pateros 14-12. Liberty Bell beat Bridgeport 36-28. Wilbur Creston won big over Soap Lake. Odessa ran roughshod over Elmira Cooley Hardline. That's not a misprint. 92-6. Manson fell to Lind Ritzville. Lake Roosevelt victorious over Tenasket. Orville shut out Kittle Falls. That's football. Let's talk about girls soccer. To the Les Schwab scoreboard over the weekend. Moses Lake clobbered Sunnyside 7-0. Eastmont blanked Davis 3-0. Manson edging Orville 2-1. On the volleyball courts over the weekend, Chelan hosted a double duel with Lakeside out of 9 Mile Falls. Freeman and Cascade Saturday. The Goats swept both Freeman and Lakeside, while the visitors swept 3 each from the Kodiaks. Also Saturday, Manson edged Waterville Mansfield 3-1. And finally, the Wenatchee Wild had a tough weekend. They gave up 12 goals in 2 games. They got swept by the Salmon Arm Silverbacks over the weekend. Salmon Arm came out and scored 4 goals in the first period Friday, went on for the 8-5 victory. The Wild scored 4 goals of its own. It made it a 2-goal margin heading into the final frame, but that was about it. Scoring goals for Wenatchee, Brian Adams, Luke Ormsby, Hunter Hastings, Nick Caffarelli, and Brett Chorsky. Then on Saturday, Wenatchee scored first. Luke Ormsby's 7th goal of the year, but then Salmon Arm tied it before the first intermission. Then they added 2 more goals in the second. Colson Wolford added another in the third for the visitors before Trevor Greibel tallied the final goal of the game. Wenatchee heads to Trail Wednesday, then they'll host Merritt on Friday and Saturday of this upcoming weekend. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday at 26 minutes after the hour. The obscure holiday of the day today. Today is International Animation Day. Yeah, animation. The idea of creating moving images by taking still images and playing them fast, and before you know it, they move. Of course, traditionally, and for a century, animation meant you created hand-drawn pictures. Very labor-intensive, very time-consuming. Now, of course, almost every animated cartoon or movie that's been made over the last 15 or 20 years is done almost entirely by images created on a computer. But there's something to be said about the lost art of actually hand-drawn animation. You look back at all the classic Disney movies that were drawn by hand: Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Bambi, Dumbo, Fantasia. They did them all by hand. Now they just do it on the computer. I encourage young artists to actually draw. That's probably a good place to start. I grew up loving cartoons. Don't watch too many cartoons now anymore. But the thing I like about cartoons is you can suspend reality because the characters themselves don't actually exist. That I like. 27 minutes after the hour. Let's do today in history. Happy 383rd birthday to Harvard. Fair Harvard. Yes, Harvard University. The Massachusetts Bay Colony voted to start a college. They didn't have one. It would become Harvard University. Harvard is the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, and they've done quite well for themselves. Harvard's endowment is $41 billion. That is by far the largest of any academic institution. Harvard alumni include 8 U.S. presidents, 21 Supreme Court justices went to Harvard, 30 foreign heads of state, 188 living billionaires, 364 Rhodes Scholars, 160 Nobel Prize winners, 48 Pulitzer Prize winners. The list goes on and on. Fair Harvard is 383 years old today. Happy 133rd birthday to the Statue of Liberty. It was on this date, on October 28, 1886. We said, thank you, France, for the lovely statue. We're going to put it right here. They had the dedication ceremony of the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor on this date 133 years ago. It was a huge party. In fact, when we talk about ticker tape parades in Midtown Manhattan, the very first ticker tape parade in Midtown Manhattan that ever happened when they dedicated the Statue of Liberty. How many women were on board when they dedicated the Statue of Liberty? 2. And the Statue of Liberty is a female. Go figure. Happy birthday to the Statue of Liberty. This is the 100th anniversary of the Volstead Act. Oh well, what do you do? The U.S. Congress passed the Volstead Act over President Wilson's veto, and that allowed prohibition to begin the following January. They had already passed the constitutional amendment, but they didn't actually define the term alcoholic beverage. So Congress had to go back to work and define what an alcoholic beverage was. It became known as the Volstead Act. Wilson vetoed it. Congress overrid it. Prohibition was on its way 100 years ago today. And 57 years ago today, the Cuban Missile Crisis came to an end when Premier Nikita Khrushchev said, okay, I'll take our missiles out of Cuba. It's all over. Everybody went, whew. It was 10 days. It just really scared a lot of people. The Cuban Missile Crisis came to an end on this date back in 1962. And boy, do we got some birthdays for you. A lot of birthdays. This man was the most famous and popular person on the planet back in the 1950s. I'm talking about Jonas Salk, who led the team that developed the polio vaccine. He became an international celebrity. The vaccine itself was never patented. Would have made him a multi-billionaire. He didn't handle his fame very well. He said, I'm a scientist. I'm a doctor. I'm a physician. I'm a scientist. I'm not supposed to be famous, but he became one of the most famous people in the world for quite some time for doing what he did. helping develop the polio vaccine. Jonas Salk was born in the state in 1914, lived a long and rich life. The most popular member of the Seattle Supersonics, Lenny Wilkens, is 82 years old today. He coached more NBA games than anybody in history. 2,487 games he coached in the NBA. 13-time an NBA All-Star. He coached the 1979 World Champion Seattle Supersonics, and he is a 3-time inductee into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. The great Lenny Wilkens is 82 years old today. Caitlyn Jenner is 70. I saw Caitlyn at the Olympics in 1976. She wasn't Caitlyn Jenner back then. Probably the most famous transgender person on the planet is Caitlyn Jenner. 70 years old today, 70. Bill Gates is 64. We talk about billionaires who went to Harvard. Bill Gates went to Harvard. He's a billionaire. In fact, he's worth $95.4 billion last I checked, and it may have changed over the weekend. That makes him the second richest person in the world behind Jeff Bezos. Now, Jeff Bezos, he may have gone down to second, and Bill Gates may be back to first. This literally changes almost every day with the stock markets. But Bill Gates, 64, he's done well for himself. Brad Paisley has done something that nobody in the history of country music has ever done. He put 10 consecutive songs to number 1 on the Billboard country charts. No artist in the history of the Billboard country charts has ever done that. 10 consecutive number 1 hits. Brad Paisley is 47 years old today. And I got to see this movie. I got to see the latest movie. Joaquin Phoenix, The Joker, celebrates birthday number 45 years old today. Happy 45th, Joaquin Phoenix. I understand that movie is really good. Haven't seen it yet. I'll make a point to check it out. 32 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. When we come back, everybody is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. And then today, like we will all this week, we'll get to know the candidates running for office for the general election coming up 1 week for tomorrow. Today, it's our interview with the two people vying for Chelan mayor, the incumbent Mike Cooney and the former mayor, Bob Goedde. That conversation is coming up. You're watching Wake Up in Angie Valley on the NCW Life channel. The Cottage Inn has been a Wenatchee Valley landmark since 1940, making it one of the longest-running locally owned restaurants around. And it's better than ever. Steak, seafood, and their famous homemade desserts for dinner, wonderful lunch items, and breakfast on Sundays, all made from scratch and at an affordable price. It's no wonder the Cottage Inn has been so popular for over 75 years. Enjoy a fabulous meal today at the Cottage Inn on Easy Street in Old Station.
My name is Brian Thorpe. I own Global Car Care in Wenatchee and have been here for about 25 years.
Brian started Global Car Care as Brian's automotive alternative on Orondo Street.
Some customers were following Brian since Brian's automotive time.
No, we're just grateful to be part of this community. This is where I grew up. We want to do our part to be a valuable part of this community. We want to thank you for trusting our business for 25 years.
Let Fitterers Furniture help you turn your dreams into reality with their exciting selection of quality furnishing and accessories. Whatever style you are looking for, you will find beautifully crafted furniture of exceptional value and the unmatched Fitterers customer service to make this shopping experience one you will keep coming back to. Make a point of visiting Fitterers Furniture in downtown Ellensburg.
Quality, selection, and service since 1896.
Some jobs are a calling. They require something deeper, an innate devotion to the communities in which we live. At Giesa Credit Union, we help you support local firefighters. With every purchase you make with a Giesa Local Heroes Affinity debit card, we make a donation to select firefighter organizations. After all, we can never repay them, but we can do our best to help a little with the Giesa Firefighters Affinity debit card.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving North Central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Hi, Stephen here, Branch Manager of Beneficial and Home Care. It's our mission to maximize our clients' physical health and sense of mental well-being while remaining in the comfort of their home. Qualified care is only a phone call away. Beneficial in-home care helps you live safely and comfortably at home. Our home care supervisors provide a free in-home assessment with quick process and turnaround. Call Beneficial in-home care. Schedule your personalized one-on-one care today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, like I've said before, 75% of folks here in the good old USA call ourselves Christian. Well, that's fine, I guess. But what's really tragic is there are people who don't realize that the true test of loving and sacrificing for others, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, etc., is first and foremost to be displayed at home to your families. It doesn't matter who outside of your family thinks you're a great person. If your spouse and your kids don't think so, or if your parents or your siblings think that you're a jerk, you're missing it. You know, if your Christianity and if your love for fellow man isn't first and foremost demonstrated to those who are closest to you, let's face it, it's meaningless. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master, Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Chelan, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
They may not be from you, but they're a part of your family. For many reasons, not all children are being raised by their parents. Are you a family member who has stepped in to help raise grandchildren, nieces, or nephews? Whether court-ordered or not, Aging and Adult Care may be able to assist you with many needs. Kinship Care helps keep family and community ties together. Learn more about Kinship Care by contacting Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington, working together for a better quality of life for all.
Incumbent Chelan Mayor Mike Cooney is being challenged by former Mayor Bob Goedde. Cooney served for 8 years on the Chelan City Council prior to being elected mayor, while Goedde also served 8 years on the City Council prior to his 2 terms as mayor. A hot-button issue in this election is the reconstruction and new design of the Wooden Avenue Bridge and the possibility of the city purchasing private land for public use. We are joined now by former Chelan Mayor Bob Goedde and current Chelan Mayor Mike Cooney. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us today.
Good morning, Grant.
Appreciate you being here. We'll start with Mr. Goedde. First, I guess it's the question a lot of people are asking is, what made you get back into politics and want to be mayor of Chelan again?
Well, it wasn't my first choice. I spent most of April destroying everything that said vote for Bob Goedde, hoping that someone would challenge the current administration and the trend that was going, I felt, in Chelan more towards the west side malls with all the stuff in the middle of the streets and a lot of bicycle paths, the one-way bridge, buying a butte. And at the last minute, I decided nobody else is going to do this. And if I have problems with what's going on, I should have the DC stand up and explain it and put my name in a hat. So that's what I did, and that's kind of what my focus is on, is transportation, housing, and recreation.
So what are the problems you have with those projects?
The biggest one is the making the Wooden Avenue Bridge one way. It creates a tremendous traffic flow problem on Johnson. And for the almost 20 years prior to that, as a city council member for 8 years and as mayor for 8 years, we had a design on hand, we had a contractor on hand, we had the money in the Public Works Trust Fund. And then in those days, if the legislature would sort of funds for the budget, they just stripped the Public Works Trust Fund, which they did at least on one occasion in 12, and I think on another one later on. So I had a conversation with Governor Inslee after the fire, and he said, let's talk about small town mayors. What can we do? I said, you can quit ripping off the Public Works Trust Fund. So he actually vetoed that portion of it, and when I went to Olympia the following year about getting the money, they said, your money was there. Why did you not apply? Well, they had changed the rules, and we had to have a finance trail funding source, so we didn't apply. And so I was curious why they'd not continue to apply for that for the widen the two sections of the bridge and leave it 2 lanes. So,
Okay, Mayor Cooney, response to that?
As far as the reason why I'm running, if that's the question, it simply comes down to, I never think about that there's nobody else to do it. There are people out there that are good and qualified to do it. I happen to like it. I'm kind of in the same boat as Bob. I got rid of all my signs and all the wires, and doggone it, I, in my 4th year, like it. I like doing it. I like leadership role. I've kind of gravitated towards seeing things get done that people have talked about doing for many years, and we all were on in the same legislative body, and when we talked about the bridge, or we've talked about recycling or things, and it just came down to making hard decisions, unpopular, but I'll say this, Grant, if turning a bridge to being safer, and yes, the traffic was really messed up in June and July, and that falls on me. We didn't have the mitigation following right after the bridge opened. But since August, if you take a good look, if you come up around there, you really don't see backups in August or now. So hard decisions were made. They've been decisions talked about forever. And we wanted to keep the bridge historic looking. It needed to be restored. We wanted to widen the sidewalks. And we wanted to take the opportunity to make a better entrance to our town. Now, if that is the worst thing that a town can experience, then we're in pretty good shape in Chelan.
That's true. That's true. And Bob, what do you think is the most pressing issue in Chelan right now?
I think I just said it. I have phone calls, I have people stop me on the street. I don't believe the intersections are done. I know there's $600,000 or more, but if we can go back and put that bridge like it has been designed and everything else, the 2 lanes with the 6-foot lanes on either side, we're using modern technology, lightweight concrete, even maybe carbon fiber in some cases, to make that right so we can have it that way. One of the reasons the bridge was a problem was that we had a lot of our guests, which seems to be what the main focus is on, of standing on a bridge and watch sunset. Well, they have a new landing park, which is just below that, so you can stand there without the hassle of cars and watch the sunset across Stormy Mountain. So I think part of the need for that wider one is there. And the fact that that bridge is 90 years old and never had a reported incident, that I think it was not a balancing act by taking 1 lane off and giving it to the bicycles and the pedestrians. I think it could have been balanced the way it was with the wider sidewalks on both sides. And that money's there. There's $700 million in the Public Works Trust Fund.
So was this an issue when you were mayor?
Well, we were trying to figure it out, and most of them they couldn't figure out which route they wanted to go. It was okay, and it's not okay. And the reason that we talk about it being dangerous is one of the meetings I had with state legislatures. I actually pulled my truck up alongside, stuffed it against the sidewalk, put my camper mirrors full out, and it does hang over the sidewalk. Most people don't drive camper mirrors all the way, don't scrape the tires against it. So if you're walking, 2 can walk through fairly comfortably, 3 are not going to walk on the old sidewalks. And then what they did to the intersection, the streetscape on Columbia, they're not going to be able to plow that. It's going to be a disaster when it snows, and I don't understand why we have trees in the middle of the street. When you come down a lake, you used to be able to see the lake. Now you're going to see trees right in the middle of the road, and they're going to obscure the lake. That was one of the things I always found fault with, is they wouldn't take the bushes out on the edge of the bridge so we could see the lake.
Mayor Cooney, pressing issue in Chelan right now. I know you're a big housing advocate. Is there anything new in that in that issue, in that regard?
Yeah, I would say housing is my top priority, but I have to listen to the people, and I think growth and development are the overriding issues facing us. And over the next 4 years, I would think that we're going to see quite a bit more capital come over from the west side into Chelan. People are retiring at a very fast rate, and they're looking for towns like Chelan. They're looking for towns like Sandpoint, Idaho, or Whitefish, Montana. Chelan is a jewel. People love it. They love the lake. And how will we manage that? And what I was quoted last year on the front page of the Wenatchee World: if you're a developer and you want to bring a large-scale development, skip our town. Well, I took a lot of heat from people in the real estate business for that, but I mean it. I really don't want to see our hillsides get scraped. We did a comp plan for 12 months in 2017, and what we did in that comprehensive plan was to figure out where growth is going to be incented, and that's in the downtown area, and try to hide the development that happens on the hillsides and the ravines. And when they come, I do relish the idea of being involved with the planning department, the planning director, as far as shaping what developers can do and holding the line. And I don't think the line was held with a large scale or a couple large scale developments. And one is very controversial. It's called the Lookout, Legacy Ridge, and I don't think the line was held there. It changed from single-family residential homes, 1 story high, and it got changed to a planned development district, which you then can narrow the streets and put in height limits, higher limits. So that's I want to be consistent, and if we say we want to keep our town in a historic fashion and keep Old Town Chelan, I want to do that, and I want to make sure development pays and helps us.
And Bob, that's a fine line. It's a tourist town. There's going to be development, so you want to keep it a small town, but there's also, you want some folks to come in and help the economy. What's the manageable solution to that?
Well, one of the manageable solutions is every time I was on city council and somebody would come in and go, hey, we want to annex the Butte. And I say, you want a small town Chelan? Why are we annex the Butte? The reason they annex is they can put densities up that are unbelievable. We're all the way to Rocky Point. That is not small town Chelan. They annex part of Deer Mountain. If the council doesn't understand, you can't keep annexing huge pieces of property and expect them not developed. I don't know what they're thinking. And I totally agree with small town Chelan. I think that the appearance of the small town, I went to a lot of meetings on the coast with Washington events, festival events deal. I would say, well, we're going to change to Chelan. They go, are you crazy? You leave it 1965. Well, 1965 Eastern Washington's pretty plain, 100-foot streets, not a lot of razzle-dazzle, not a lot of white sidewalks and glorified shrubbery, and that's what we've become. I totally agree that we need to hold the line, but when the building codes say this, and you say, I don't like that project, you're not going to build it, you're going to get sued. And unfortunately, our building codes are way out there on development, except like Mike's saying with townhouses, they can butt to butt, 3 stories high. Something's got to be changed to change, and if we end up getting in trouble because we already have some of these things on the book, it's going to be a difficult situation legally.
And you say transportation is one of your stands as well. What's the transportation need in Chelan?
I don't think we can keep going over this all the time. We need 2 exits out of Chelan, not 1. I get a kick out of when I says, yeah, they finally got it. Chelan's a tourist trap. You come in, but you can't get out.
Which is, I guess, kind of what you want, don't you? Well, tourists are coming into your town.
Just leave your money and keep on moving. That's really the line.
Mike?
Transportation's important. We've been working on that since day one as far as if we only focus on the bridge, and the bridge is the one and only thing, then we're misguided. It's a whole global view as far as how does transportation, how do the fruit trucks get through town in a manageable way. We can go back and look at different things that have been done right and things that have been done wrong. I stand behind the bridge decision. I think it was the right decision to keep it historic looking, safe, and it needed to be restored. And that's how it all got started. So one thing kind of led to the other. And so let's move on from the bridge. There are 7 intersections that we've gone for to get money for mitigating. And you know what? take a look at not this past summer, but the summer before. The bridge was two-way. We had traffic backing up on Johnson Avenue in front of City Hall. We had traffic that was waiting at the light at Woodin Avenue. So regardless of if it's two-way or one-way, yes, the one-way exasperated it for June and July. I think I made that clear. But since August, it has been moving. The traffic counts have been showing that the traffic is moving. So we're looking at a more global view as far as how do you move traffic out of town? How do you move it by way of the lights or just interchange fixes? So transportation is important to keep people moving, and people will say you have a parking problem and you have a transportation problem, and you know what, we have it for X number of weeks a year, and some people, the problem isn't good, but it's only going to get worse unless we get on top of it, and so I'm working to get ahead of it.
One thing I'll just throw this out there, when I listened to Mike saying that Jeff Wilkins from Chelan Douglas County Transportation said it had to be one way. That's not exactly what Jeff said. His engineer said that and said to make it one way out and it'll work. And then I read in the paper where they're going to take one lane of traffic going up Eastwood Avenue and add bicycle lanes. And that would be a cluster, just like you said. So imagine you're going up Eastwood Avenue, you're following two semis pulling pup trailers, there's a third vehicle in the ambulance trying to get to your hospital, and you can't pass because there's a left turn lane and bicycle lane. So that was one of the fiascos that I believed. I actually went down and go, enough is enough. So I don't know if that's still on the plans, but when I was there, I told DOT no way, and they said if the city don't want it, we won't do it.
As of right now, I'm sorry. As of right now, it's not on the plan. We had a meeting with 7 different traffic consultants from DOT, Chelan Douglas Transportation Council, and I just asked for them to put a stop to that. Instead of going forward, I mean, my God, let's get through the bridge. You know, 2 years ago it was the roundabout. Now we're past that. You could not take that roundabout out right now. People would scream. And I feel the same way about the bridge. If we get past that, and if it gets planned out and the community sees something of value, then we'll move forward. But I asked the DOT to put a stop to that plan. So right now it's on hold.
Hold. It's on hold. Quickly, we just have a little bit of time left. Quick statement. Why should you be re-elected mayor?
Well, I think you have two good choices. It's not like a lot of elections where there's one clear good choice. I have great respect for Bob, and I commend his service, and he's a very good man. I think as far as looking into the future and working with outside agencies, working with developers, I thrive on that. I work hard to do that. I used an analogy the other night, and I think about this a lot. I think that if you are the mayor, I think it's like driving a bus and the rest of the town is in the back of the bus, and you're looking through the windshield. It's a reason why there's a windshield that's much larger than the rear view mirror. I know that the rear view mirror is important to know where you've been, but it's way more important to know where you're going, and I focus on the future, the next 20 years.
Bob, 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Well, I'm Bob Goedde, and I consider myself the common sense candidate that's going to try to bring a little bit of balance to our problems of transportation, housing, and recreation. And I think this election will determine what Chelan's going to look like going into the future. And if we want to keep our Eastern Washington small town attitude and appearance, this is vote for me, because I think that's what we need to do with Chelan.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Grant.
Really appreciate it.
If you want to work in IT, here's a tip. Employers value IT certifications. 91% say they play a key role in hiring. 72% require them for certain job openings. Improve your odds of getting the job. Enroll in the Computer Networking Systems program at Charter College. In 14 months, you could earn an associate degree and 6 IT certifications. Get started at chartercollegeit.com, where we work to get you to work.
My awesome is being able to share my passion for yoga. I found yoga in my mid-40s to help me kind of de-stress and calm down, and it actually changed my life. Washington Trust believed in me. I felt like, okay, they got my back. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna go for it. It actually makes you feel like more brave. I do have a lot of awesome in my life.
What's your awesome? Whatever it is, we'll help you get there.
Campfire North Central Washington, serving youth ages 3 to 18. Register today in one of Campfire's programs. Club members meet regularly with volunteer leaders to learn responsibility, sharing, cooperation, and citizenship. When a child is involved in Campfire, they will be actively learning and engaged in activities, encouraged to learn new skills, feel a part of the group, learn to work in a team setting, participate in planning, goal setting, and making lasting memories.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive, no nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epladolin family is the right choice for you.
Family owned and operated, Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care. And we're back at it here from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee. I'm Dan Kuntz. Before we do your very chilly weather forecast, let's take another tour on the valley with our Valley View cameras. Now that the sun is up, which it wasn't 57 minutes ago, we can actually see what's going on. And that's, of course, our cross camera. We have a few high clouds, and boy, are we in for a big cool down as a very strong cold front is going to start paying us a visit. It's going to happen a little bit later on today. Forecast details are just about a minute or so away. Camera 2, same cameras I believe we used this morning, so we're going to be off to Pybus Public Market. And you can see the parking lot of Biosports and Gold's Gym and Pybus beginning to fill up. Look at the beautiful colors. Look at the stunning colors on the trees in and around the Pybus Public Market on this Monday. We're not quite past the peak colors yet. In many locations we are, but here in the Wenatchee Valley, we're looking good. But I think with this really cold temperatures heading our way, I think a lot of the leaves are going to be departing their hosts over the course of the week. Camera number 3. I believe we're going to the Cascadian, and we are looking north on Wenatchee Avenue. People are minding their P's and Q's on a quiet Monday morning commute. 36 degrees, by the way, outside of our studios as we look at the very roof of the Cascadian, pointing north down the avenue, Mission Street on your left. And camera 4 is Apple Annie's. Beautiful view there. Not quite, the colors aren't quite as blingy now in Cashmere as they are in Wenatchee, but still not bad at all on this Monday morning. So good morning to our friends in Cashmere. All right, good stuff. Glad we can do that now. The sun is up. Okay, the forecast. Cold, really cold. Not too bad today. Sunshine at 52, that's what we hit yesterday. Light and variable wind, but then things change tonight. Look at your wind chills tonight into early Tuesday morning. This is when this cold Arctic air begins to come in. Temperatures are going to drop like a rock by tomorrow morning. We're going to be maybe 15 degrees below average with a cold north wind. On top of that, what's causing all this cold Arctic air? That right there, that big high pressure ridge, that big blue H, spinning around clockwise, grabbing all that cold air from Western Canada and up there in Saskatchewan and Alberta and what have you, and it's shoving it right down in to the northern part of our country, and that means we're going to get chilly. Not only are we going to have clear skies tonight with an overnight low of about 23 or 22, you factor in the wind chills, it's going to get cold. And then look at Tuesday. We'll be lucky to get to 40. Wow, that's 15, 16 degrees below normal, and a record-breaking low temperature, a distinct possibility, not only tonight. We could get that 22. If we get down to 22 tonight, that's going to be right about record-setting territory for overnight low, but we're going to blow past that in a big way early on Tuesday going into Wednesday. It's going to be very, very chilly. And then a gradual warm-up. It's dry weather. It's dry weather, almost no relative humidity, no rain, no snow in the forecast, just sunny and very cold. 40, our forecast high Wednesday. Then we warm up a little bit on Thursday, warmer still on Friday. Obviously, as you can see there, Halloween. Not looking too bad at all, but you're going to have to deal with some very cold temperatures Tuesday, Wednesday, and really spilling into Thursday. Be prepared. We warned you. Provided this show isn't canceled, we'll see you on Tuesday. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.